Well, this channel and others like it have put out a lot of content based actually around video games, and so it's that relatable element, the video game on screen that we all kind of remember, but I feel like there's a reason a lot of the games are several years old in which these commentary channels, including myself, are kind of playing, because it doesn't feel like any of the newer video games. Number one, I really don't know much about them. Number two, I don't see people talking about them as much, and number three, I don't think people really even care, and that's kind of a basically the message of the video. It doesn't seem like people really care that much about video games anymore, and it's not becoming as popular as it was. And it seems like young people have a lot of different options now, and that's probably a big part of the factor to it too. Not sure people are not necessarily looking for some type of cope or distraction less than they were in the past. I definitely don't believe that's true, but the way that they're doing it has certainly changed. I feel like everyone used to play video games even into their old, young 20s. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when you would get on, you would sneak on, play some online games and stuff, and just be able to hang out for a few hours before parents would probably usually want you on the game. Like, I feel like a lot of the people that you would always hear in voice chat would be kind of my age now and be amongst the older generation, but I feel like people aren't playing them as much. The video games, they don't interest me, and they just, you look around and it feels like all video games are sort of the same, and that's part of the problem in terms of the community, because a lot of the games are just rehashes of the older games before it, and also it's almost played its course and gotten more boring, I want to say, and that's weird because a lot of other institutions or hobbies and stuff haven't really bored people out yet, apparently, because they're still very popular. Like, music didn't get boring, but video games maybe did, and people are playing them less. I think another part about video games also being played less and people losing interest is definitely the fact that the day-to-day has gotten a little more stressful for most people. It feels like, a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, and when you always have that, you kind of have to spend your extra time figuring out how you're going to make it rather than playing games, because you don't have the comfort to sit back and do that. Things aren't going as well as you would have hoped for, so you're going to have to spend a little extra time trying to right the ship as opposed to getting to hop on a video game. And I'm not sure that this will get any better in the future, because there's just going to be more and more entertainment options, and it's probably more likely people continue to drift a little bit away from your traditional console-like gaming and everything, or there'll just be other ways in which there's some type of virtual reality and AI mixed to where people are getting kind of a video game experience where they're a little more interactive with something, but it's in a different way, and not I'm sitting down with a controller and shooting bad guys on screen like we're all kind of used to, or playing an FPS. And also with the changing of the guard and things like social media ruining people's attention spans, I also don't think that it's going to be very popular to be playing something like an RPG in the coming years, because it does require kind of a long-term attention span to go through an entire game. That's going to take several hours. That's a big time commitment, and also it's a big commitment to your attention span, I think, and people definitely have less of that than they did in the past. And another big aspect of video games losing steam to me has to be that there's just less young people to really play them. Definitely seems like in a lot of places there are less young people being born to join up and be the ones that are mainly contributing to play the video game. So when that happens, obviously you would think there's going to be a downward trend. And it just feels like with all of this stuff being the same and you're kind of getting the same product year in, year out, you wonder if there can be a revival of a big video game title that can get people back on the games or get them back and enjoying it again. And I'm not sure we'll see that anytime soon. I kind of look at the different eras throughout the past of games that did feel like they had a lot of steam, had a lot of traction amongst most people, and obviously there's going to be people that don't like some games and just refuse to play them. But a good example of a game that I was thinking of that really did grasp the attention of a lot of people and got some people's time was Fortnite. Just a game that obviously with the way it was designed could relate to a mass audience. It was an interesting game in that you're playing a battle royale and there's only one person can win, and it's a shooter, so there's plenty of action in it. So there were a lot of things working for it, and it was very marketable, made a lot of money, and so most people again were able to play it. It felt like I heard a lot about that. People would talk about it. It was sort of in the mainstream there, and it was sort of like that too with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds when you had those battle royales. And then back in the day when I was coming through, Grand Theft Auto 5 was a very big game, especially when that was first released. Everybody, it felt like, was playing that or trying to get their own thing online. They would talk about it. Same with Call of Duty and stuff like that. So those kind of games I'm talking about, that it feels like everybody was talking about, everybody knew something about, that they would play and you would hear a lot about, even being in multiple different circles, not just your niche community of gaming friends. It felt like it related to those bigger audiences. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about when it feels like it's lost steam. It doesn't feel like there's that big group of people that can come together from multiple different backgrounds and everything and be able to talk about these one or two or a few games, because it doesn't have enough steam, it doesn't have enough traction in order to draw in audiences like that anymore, because I think video games, just people are declining their interest in them. And again, I don't see how we're going to come out of it very easily, or what kind of game would have to come out to get people back on them and talking about it. But just wanted to give some thoughts on this, especially because my channel and others like it certainly rely on these older video games to provide you some B-roll as we're talking. And again, I don't think it's that much of a coincidence that a lot of the games, they're older and not the newest titles, because it feels like those are the games that people like to look back on and play, and more so than some of the newer stuff out there. So maybe this is a get off my lawn take, but let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Also check out our social medias on screen. I have several, and also the other channels, the two other YouTube channels I'm running are in the comments the description below if you want to go check those out. But we're gonna have more content coming out soon. Thanks you guys for tuning into this one.